Dear students, today I will discuss phase rule of engineering chemistry for BTech first year students. I am Dr. Ravi Khare, professor of chemistry at Babu Banarsi Das Engineering College, Lucknow. Today I will discuss phase rule. Now, what is phase rule? The phase rule deals with the behavior of heterogeneous systems. This is very important generalization dealing with the behavior of heterogeneous systems. This is very important. This relationship governed to all heterogeneous equilibria, which was discovered by Professor William Gibbs. That is why it is also known as Gibbs phase rule. Now, what is phase rule? Mathematically, it is represented as f is equal to c minus p plus 2, where f is number of degree of freedoms, c is number of components and p is number of phases. Now, we can define phase rule as it is a law of physical chemistry, which means the number of degrees of freedom, that is capital F, of a system in equilibrium is equal to the number of components minus the number of phases plus the constant 2, that is F is equal to c minus p plus 2. This is phase rule. Mathematically, it is called phase rule. Now, what is the importance of phase rule? By the study of phase rule, it is possible to predict qualitatively by means of a diagram the effect of pressure, temperature and concentration on a heterogeneous system in equilibrium. Now, we come to one by one what is phase, what is component and what is degree of freedom. Now, first we will discuss phase. What is meant by phase? A phase may be defined as any homogeneous part of system having the same all physical and chemical properties throughout. A system may consist of one phase or more than one phase. It may be defined by the taking example of water. Water has three phases. Water can be present in liquid, it can be in form of ice and it can be in the form of vapor. So, a system containing only liquid water, it is known as one phase system, that is P is equal to 1, means phase is 1. A system containing liquid water and water vapor, that is a gas, is a two phase system, that is P is equal to 2, means number of phases 2. A system containing liquid water, water vapor and solid ice is a three phase system, that is P is equal to 3, means the number of phases is 3. A system consisting of one phase only is generally known as homogeneous system, and a system consisting of two or more phases is called as a heterogeneous system. Ordinary three states of matter, gas, liquid and solid are known as phases. However, in the phase rule, the uniform part of a system in equilibrium is termed as phase. A liquid or solid mixture could have two or more phases. For example, you know that all gases mix freely to form a homogeneous mixture, that is mixture of gases, say oxygen and nitrogen is a one phase system, that is in the case of mixture of gases we have to take P is equal to 1. Another example, the two completely miscible liquids yields a uniform solution. For example, when you add alcohol, ethanol and water in water, it is completely miscible. Thus, a solution of ethanol and water is one phase system, which means P is equal to 1, that is phase is 1. A mixture of two non-miscible liquids on standing forms two separate layers. Hence, a mixture of chloroform and water is a two phase system, that is P is equal to 2. An aqueous solution of a solid substance such as sodium chloride or sugar is uniform throughout. Therefore, it is an one phase system, that is P is equal to 1. Another example is water and sugar. The aqueous solution of sugar is always having p is equal to 1. The aqueous solution of NaCl is always has one phase. Now, we come to component part. What is meant by component? The capital C in the phase rule, that is number of component of a system may be defined as the least number of independent chemical constituents in terms of which the composition of every phase can be expressed by means of a chemical equation. It is known as component. Now, we can explain component in the form of chemical equation. Consider the thermal decomposition of calcium carbonate as given by calcium carbonate into calcium oxide, carbon dioxide. Okay. Now, just take a simple example. If we write x is equal to y plus z, this is very simple mathematical equation. This equation may be written as y is equal to x minus z, or you can write z is equal to x minus y. We can write x equal to y plus z, y is equal to x minus z, and z is equal to x minus y. Meaning of all equation is same, there is no difference. This is simple mathematics. Similarly, you can see here x, y, z are there, and we can represent x in terms of y plus z, we can represent y x minus z, and z in terms of x minus y. Similarly, the thermal decomposition of calcium carbonate can be represented as calcium oxide plus calcium carbon dioxide, or calcium oxide is equal to calcium carbonate minus carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is equal to calcium carbonate minus calcium oxide, which means there are three substances: calcium carbonate, calcium oxide, carbon dioxide, but we can represent all three substances by only two substances in the form of chemical reaction. Here there are two solid, that is calcium carbonate and calcium oxide, and one gas phase, that is carbon dioxide. Hence, it is a three phase system, but all the three constituents can be represented by using only two substances in the form of chemical equation. Therefore, it is a two component system, which means C is equal to 2. Now, we come to degree of freedom. The term capital F in the phase rule is called degree of freedom, and it is defined as the least number of variable factors, that is concentration, pressure and temperature, which must be specified so that the remaining variables are fixed automatically and the system is completely defined. So, in this way we can define degree of freedom as the least number. Suppose a system is f is equal to 0, or system with f is equal to 0 means that system is non-variant, which means the system is having no degree of freedom. If a system with f is equal to 1 is known as univariant, means the system is having 1 degree of freedom. A system with f is equal to 2, which is known as bivariant, which means the system is having 2 degree of freedom. This is the all about terms which are used in phase rule, that is number of components, number of phases and degree of freedom. Now, we come to phase diagram. This is very important for the phase rule purpose. Now, what is phase diagram? A phase diagram is a plot showing the conditions of pressure and temperature under which two or more than two physical states can exist together in a state of dynamic equilibrium. You just see the figure. Here we plot various value of pressure against temperature. So, we can get such type of diagram. This is curve, this is curve, this is curve, and all curves are meeting at a common point which is called O, which is generally known as triple point. So, this is a phase diagram. Now, we will use the application of phase rule to the water system, which is very important and very essential to understand the phase rule. The concept of phase rule can be explained by the taking example of water system, that is application of phase rule to water system. Now, water is a 3 phase and 1 component system. Water is a 3 phase and 1 component system. The 3 phases involved in the water system are liquid water, ice and water vapor. Now, one may ask a question, why water is a 1 component system? Water system is a 1 component system because all the 3 phases of water can be represented by one chemical entity H2O only. That is why water system is called 1 component system. The salient features of the phase diagram of water are shown below. Number 1, the curves OA, OB and OC, the triple point that is O, the areas AOB, BOC and COA, AOB this region, BOC this region and COA this region. These are areas or region and we will discuss all individually. Now, the curve OA, the curve OB and the curve OC. O is triple point where all the curves are meeting and the area is AOB, OB, BOC and COA, these are curve. The curve OA is known as vaporization curve, curve OC is known as melting point curve and OB curve is known as sublimation curve. Now, we will discuss in detail the curves OA, OB and OC. The curve OA represents the vapor pressure of liquid water at different temperatures. On this curve, 2 phases, that is water liquid and water vapor coexist in equilibrium. Means we are discussing the curve OA. This curve is known as vapor pressure curve and along the curve, on the curve, at the curve, on this curve, water exists in water liquid form and water vapor form in the dynamic equilibrium. Means at the curve OA, the degree of the phase value P is equal to 2 at this point. So, on curve A, the water liquid and water vapor coexist in equilibrium, that is P is equal to 2. Now, we come to curve OB, this curve OB. This curve is known as sublimation curve. Curve OB is known as sublimation curve. At this curve or along the curve, water vapor is in dynamic equilibrium, water solid or water ice. That is why along the curve water is existing in 2 phase system. Therefore, if we apply phase rule on this curve, we will get P is equal to 2. Now, we come to curve OC, this is called melting point curve. It shows the effect of pressure on the melting point of ice. On this curve, 2 phases, that is solid ice and water liquid, coexist in equilibrium. Therefore, the P is equal to 2 on this curve. Since water system is 1 component system, which means C is equal to 1. Therefore, as per phase rule along this curve, f is equal to c minus p plus 2, which is written here. F is equal to c minus p plus 2. If we put the value of c, that is 1, put the value of phases, that is 2 on curve OA or OB or OC, you will get 1. Therefore, the system is univariant. Now, you can say on the curve OA or OB or OC, the system is univariant. When you apply the phase rule on any one of the curve, you will get this result, f is equal to 1, which means system is univariant. Now, come to the areas. We are having 3 areas, AOB, OBC and COA. This is vapor part, this is liquid part of water, this is solid part of water. There are 3 areas. The areas or regions between the curves show the conditions of temperature and pressure under which a single phase, that is solid or water liquid or water vapor, exists separately. That means, in the areas or in the curves, water is existing in single phase only, whether it is solid or liquid or vapor. So, P is equal to 1. Now, we apply phase rule to the area or regions. According to phase rule, f is equal to c minus p is equal to p plus 2. If we put the value of c, that is 1, and put the value of p, number of phases, that is 1 in case of areas, and plus 2, we will get 2. Therefore, f is equal to 2. The system is bivariant, which means if we calculate the value of f in the areas, we will get the value 2, which means the system is bivariant in the areas. Now, we come to the triple point. What is triple point? The curves OA, OB and OC meet at a point O, where all the 3 phases, that is liquid water, solid ice and water vapor, coexist in equilibrium, that is P is equal to 3. The point O is known as a triple point of water system. Now, if we apply phase rule to this point, we will get f is equal to c minus p plus 2, c is 1, because we are having water system. For water system, number of component is 1 and number of phases 3 at triple point plus 2, we will get 0. Therefore, f is equal to 0, that is system is non-variant at the triple point. So, you can prove at the triple point water is non-variant system. What is significance of triple point? That point at which all the 3 phases of water, just consider, coexist in dynamic equilibrium and which is known as triple point. Therefore, at the triple point C is 1 and P is 3. Putting this value in the phase rule, you will get f is equal to 0, which means system is non-variant at the triple point. This is the significance of triple point. Now, we come to the numerical problems, calculations, how we calculate degree of freedoms in various reactions, various equilibrium. First, we consider water system, water liquid in dynamic equilibrium, water vapor. Now, you have to calculate degree of freedom for this equilibrium. You are given water liquid is in dynamic equilibrium, water vapor. Here, water system is there. You know that you have studied that water is a one component system, therefore, C is 1 for this equilibrium. Now, here water is in dynamic equilibrium, water vapor, water liquid is dynamic equilibrium with water vapor. Therefore, in this equilibrium or according to this equilibrium, water is existing in liquid and vapor phases, which means there are 2 phases. Therefore, we can put the value of phase is equal to 2. Now, we will apply phase rule to this equilibrium, f is equal to c minus p plus 2. We have f is equal to c minus p plus 2. This is phase rule equation. Now, we apply phase rule equation to this equilibria. We get f is equal to 1 minus 2 plus 2. 1 is number of component, 2 is number of phases, and this 2 is constant. So, f is equal to 1 minus 2 plus 2, that is f is equal to 1. So, the answer of this equation is 1. The degree of freedom for this equilibria is 1. Okay. Now, we come to second question, aqueous solution of NaCl. Aqueous solution of NaCl. You have to calculate the degree of freedom for aqueous solution of NaCl. You just have studied all aqueous solutions of sodium chloride or sugar is homogeneous mixture. That is why we have to take single phase, that is P is equal to 1. Here H2O is given, H2O and NaCl means there are two component, C is equal to 2, C is equal to 2 and P is equal to 1, because it is an homogeneous mixture, homogeneous solution. So, we put the value of C and P in phase rule. Phase rule is F is equal to C minus P plus 2. Put the value of C, that is 2, put the value of P, that is 1, you will get 2 minus 1 plus 2, that is 3. So, answer for this question is 3. So, in this way you can calculate degree of freedom of various equilibria which are given for calculation. Now, question number 3, N2O4 which is gas is in dynamic equilibrium twice NO which is also gas. This is the equilibrium you are given for the calculation of degree of freedom. You have to calculate the value of capital F using phase rule. Here N2O4 which is gas is in dynamic equilibrium twice NO which is also a gas. This is a mixture of gas and you have studied the for the mixture of gases you have to take P is equal to 1, because all gases are completely mixed at each stage. Here C is equal to 1, because we can represent N2O4 by NO and NO can be represented by N2O4. So, in this case C is equal to 1 and P is equal to 1. Put the value of C and P in phase rule. What is phase rule? F is equal to C minus P plus 2. C is 1, P is 1. Put the value of 1 and 1 plus 2, you will get 2. So, you will get the degree of freedom in this equilibria which is 2. This is your answer. Now, we come to question number 4, N2 which is gas plus O2 which is also a gas is in dynamic equilibrium twice NO. NO is also gas. Now, you have to calculate degree of freedom for this given equilibrium. First, you have to calculate the number of components, then you have to calculate number of phases. After determining the number of components, after determining the number of phases, put the values of C and P in the phase rule, then you will get the answer. Now, first you have to calculate number of components. Here N2 plus O2 is equal to twice NO. There are 3 species N2, O2 and NO. Apply the concept of components. Here similar equation is given as you have studied in thermal dissociation of calcium carbonate. N2 plus O2 is equal to twice NO. So, we can represent N2 is equal to NO minus O2, twice NO minus O2. We can represent O2 is equal to twice NO minus N2, and we have already written N2 plus O2 is equal to twice NO. So, in this system C is equal to 2, because we can calculate, we can represent this equation by use of two substances only in the form of chemical equations. So, in this system C is equal to 2. Now, this is a mixture of gas and you studied that all gases are mixed properly uniformly. So, it is a one phase system. For this equilibria you can say P is equal to 1. Put the value of C and P in the phase rule, you will get F is equal to 2 minus 1 plus 2, that is 3. This is the answer of this question, F is equal to 3. So, in this way you can determine number of phases, number of components and number of degree of freedoms which were required by the any question. So, you can calculate the number of phases, number of components and degree of freedom of the required question. Now, we come to again this diagram. This is the region of solid, this is the region of liquid water and this is the region of water vapors. So, if you melting point curve, vapor pressure curve and sublimation curve, O is triple point. Now, you can ask various type of questions, define phase rule. So, you have to write the statement of phase rule, that is F is equal to C minus P plus 2. If you have to calculate or you have to prove that whether degree of freedom is 0 or system is non-variant at triple point. So, you can use the significance of triple point, by which you can show the degree of freedom at triple point is 0, that is system is non-variant. If you have to prove, you are asking the question that prove that the system water system is non-variant at triple point. So, you can prove in this way, At triple point all the phases of water are existing in dynamic equilibrium, means water liquid, water vapor and water solid, all are in liquid state dynamic equilibrium. So, at triple point the system is non-variant, means F is equal to 0. Now, you solve these questions. If you have any problem, you can mail me, I can reply the desired problems. So, practice these questions and study the phase rule. If you are having any type of problem, you can contact me on my mail. I can reply the desired answer. Thank you.